What's up? Welcome to Blockchain Tech and Finance News with me, your host, KinToshi. If you're on the YouTube side, please do subscribe, turn on the bell notifications. Again, right here to Blockchain Tech and Finance News at best. Trying to make this work out best and evolution and fruition to work out the best way possible. And I noticed on the weekends, what's going on the weekends? IRL is going on the weekends. So what I like to do on Mondays is recap what's been going on the weekends in the news. Over the weekends rather than do the news on the weekends. I know crypto and blockchain doesn't sleep 24/7, but here on Mondays, I'm going to recap weekend news and take a break on the weekends and focus on real life, business, and whatnot. So it's not going anywhere. What's going on? And we can recap it. If there's absolutely breaking news taking place during the weekend, I'll start a live stream, most definitely. I'll start a live stream. We'll talk about it, hang out, chat about it. Whether you're on a Twitch, YouTube, or a Twitter side, give a retweet, give a follow, give a sub to the channel like that. And again, so we're going to be doing this live weekdays during the 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. EDT hours. So it's about 9:30 right now. I've been on Podcast Space this morning talking about certain art project, things like that, and actually talking about all sorts of things in the industry. So right now, again, this is going to be 8 a.m., 9 a.m. EDT hours. I will be looking to start this stream at basically at 8 a.m. On the dots. If you're in the chats, also jump your words in the chat. You can have it featured right here on the channel. All right, so let's go right on to. So I'm going to start out with the marketplace watch on Market Watch. And we're going to keep going into the news. Weekend news and daily news I found interesting. We're going to close out the stream for the day until tomorrow. All right, so we got the Dow. Let's see, is it up on there? Yes, let's go. All right, we've got the Dow up 1.63%, the S&P 500 up 1.90%, the NASDAQ up 2.45%, the VIX down 0.94%, gold is up 1.35%, and crude oil is up 9.9%. Not 9.9%, but it's up 0.9%. In Europe, we got the FTSE 100 up 0.88%, the DAX up 1.63%, the CAC 40 up 1.49%, the FTSE MIB up 1.49%, the IBEX 35 up 2.14%, the Stock 600 up 1.54%. You got the Asia Dow down 0.77%, the Nikkei 225 up 1.16%, Hang Seng up 0.15%, Shanghai up 0.42%, Sensex up 0.85%, and Singapore down 0.78%. On the Forex markets, we got the Euro up 0.69%, the Yen flat, Pound up 1.41%. I've been interested hearing about people buying into the pound, buying more pounds because the dollar is doing really well, but it's a catalyst to grab more pounds. So that is up 1.41%, not surprisingly. The Australia dollar also up 1.21%. And DXY index down 0.7%. The WSJ IDX is down 0.62%. In the rates market, US 10-year is down 0.0891. Germany 10-year down 0.108. Italy 10-year down 1.41. Spain 10-year down 0.062. UK 10-year down 0.415%. 0.415. The Japan 10-year down 0.0012. In the futures market, we got the DJIF up 0.133%. S&P F futures up 1.6%. 6%. Nasdaq F S&P 5 up 1.65%. Nasdaq F up 0.20%, up 2.07%. Gold is up 1.32%. Silver is up 3.81%, and crude oil is up 0.89% on the futures. And in the crypto markets, we got the Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's in the green. We got crypto in the green today, a bit up 1.06% at $19,555 per BTC. Ethereum USD is $1,323.61 per ETH, up 0.96%. XRP is up 0.23%. Bitcoin Cash is up 0.43%. Litecoin is up 0.78%. And Monero is up 1.36%. So that's what we got there on the Market Watch. Let's go right into the weekend coverage of the news. So what's been important, what's been noteworthy over the weekend from Saturday to Sunday? Like that going into our new week here. So we got the features. Google and Coinbase strike a deal. BNY Mellon begins crypto custody and Wisdom Tree's Bitcoin ETF gets denied. Holders digest from October 9th to the 15th. So top stories this week is Google taps Coinbase to bring crypto payments to cloud services. Starting on early 2023, Coinbase's payment service, Coinbase Commerce, will facilitate crypto payments for customers purchasing Google Cloud services thanks to a deal between the two companies. Google will only allow certain crypto assets for payment, including Bitcoin, initially limited to certain participants. The option to pay with crypto will eventually be expanded to other customers. An executive at Google Cloud told CNBC, Google Cloud has taken several other steps towards crypto and blockchain industry involvement in 2022. BNY Mellon, America's oldest bank, launches a crypto service. Banking giant BNY Mellon has entered the crypto custody field, offering certain customers Bitcoin and Ether custody services via a new platform. The 238-year-old bank will provide bookkeeping for clients' crypto in a similar fashion as it does for traditional assets, while also handling clients' privacy keys. BNY's Mellon CEO of Securities of Services and Digital, Roman Riegelman, said, with digital asset custody, we continue our journey of trust and innovation into the evolving digital asset space while embracing leading technology and collaborating with fintechs. So the SEC also rejects Wisdom Tree's application for a spot Bitcoin ETF again. So that's some weekend news there. Another piece going on to here through Cointelegraph is also over the weekend news recaps. So this is from Slava Demchuk, writer for Cointelegraph. KYC to stake your ETH is probably coming to the US. And again, I won't be reading through all of these articles fully like we do in main news. This is weekend recap. So I'm going to be noting these, and I have all these links in the YouTube video recaps on the YouTube side after these streams are done. So you can jump in there and grab these article links and read more. You do own due diligence and do your own research further. It shouldn't surprise anyone if regulators begin telling node validators to impose KYC and AML requirements on users staking Ether. Over the last few years, cryptocurrency industry has been a primary target for regulators in the United States. The legal battle between Ripple and the United States, obviously, we've seen. While Ethereum developers intend to pave the way for key network upgrades in the future, it seems the recent merge has further complicated matters between crypto projects and U.S. regulators. Is Ethereum too substantial for the crypto market? On September 15th, the same day Ethereum's merge took place, SEC Chairman Gary Gensler stated during a congressional hearing that proof-of-stake digital assets could be considered securities. Gensler said that his reasoning was that holders can earn revenue by staking POS coins, which could mean that there is an expectation of profit to be derived from the efforts of others. The latter is one of the essential parts of the Howey test used by the SEC and other U.S. securities authorities to determine whether an asset is an investment contrary and falls under federal security laws, has passed into law 1946. As you may already know, Ethereum has shifted from the mining-based proof of work into proof of stake, requiring validators to stake ETH to add new blocks to the network. In other words, that means Ether could fall under the Securities Act in 1933, which would require the project to register with the SEC and comply with strict standards to safeguard investors. And that may fall back to their proof of work and if they raise capitals prior to the merge. Gensler argued that intermediaries like crypto exchanges and other providers offering staking services look very similar to lending, and cryptocurrency lending is a sector that has been under heavy SEC scrutiny, especially if we consider the agency's $100 million fines against BlockFi in February. Let's see. Ethereum's merge gives opportunity for the SEC to act, and how? In addition to the Howey test argument, the SEC also claims that ETH transactions fall under U.S. jurisdiction. That's because 90% of the nodes staked are in the United States from consensus tracking. So said, if this statement turns out to be accurate and finds further development across the nation, this would mean that the U.S. Treasury's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, FinCEN, will require all business operating in the Ethereum blockchain to comply with KYC and AML requirements. In practice, this means that customers will have to verify their identities and residences, as well as provide further information to service providers before they can start using a DeFi service. I mean, art is not DeFi, if you ask me. So there's a difference between NFTs and actually cryptocurrency coins built on Ethereum. in my take. This significantly increases the burden for cryptocurrency projects, as one could argue that this process would go against the idea of decentralized finance. However, regulatory compliance will facilitate trust between investors and providers, which will help attract investment from institutional clients. That said, it's vital to mention the SEC's controversies regarding this approach, communication decision about crypto regulation, which digital asset market players have been heavily criticized. BlockFi's case is an excellent example. The SEC announced actions against the company over its failure to register high-yield interest accounts that the commission classified as securities. According to the case's documents, one of the agency's requirements was to bring BlockFi's business activity into compliance with the Investment Company Act of 1940. As a result, BlockFi ended up on the auction block, and two other companies with similar businesses went belly up. These were Ripple General Counsel Stu Alroy's words. So regulatory compliance will come with big sacrifice for Ethereum. We'll see what happens here. U.S. regulators are increasingly expressing concerns about the huge sums circulating of DeFi without any control. As Ethereum blockchain serves as the primary chain for most tokens, its recent shift from POW to POS may be used as an argument for their attempts to influence at least a part of a decentralized market. So yeah, KYC to stake your ETH. It's probably coming to the US. It's a very interesting article there from Weekend News Recaps. Go on to the next one. It's from CoinDesk. Here are the most expensive NFTs bought by celebs and what they're worth today. It's from writer Cameron Thompson. All right. Celebrities have been putting millions into NFTs since the initial boom in early 2021, but the decline in prices in both Ethereum and overall NFT market, we looked into what their purchases are worth now. Right, in April 2021, Paris Hilton released her first non-refundable token, telling CoinDesk that at the time, NFTs had literally taken over my entire mind and soul. While Hilton said she'd actually been investing in cryptocurrency as early 2016, she really made a splash and one of several celebrities who publicly aped in during the hype of 2021. Since then, the start of 2022, Ether's prices plunged 60%. NFT trading volume has decreased 88% since the third quarter of 2021, according to a report from Alchemy. As the bear market roars on and hype around NFT has died down, CoinDesk wonders, what are the NFTs that celebrities bought worth now? So, yeah, Snoop Dogg purchased original NFT for $1,600. What was it? Right click. Snoop Dogg purchased digital artist X copies work. So for 1,600 ETH, 7 million at the time, while Ethereum dropped in value, it's now worth around 2 million, right? He's also got some Bored Ape or whatever. Entrepreneur Gary Vaynerchuk purchased CryptoPunk 2140 for 1,600 ETH, which was 3 million, about 4 million in July 2021. Obviously, that's dropped. Snoop Dogg and Vaynerchuk at the same time paid the same amount of ETH for their tokens. However, Vaynerchuk got a better deal than Snoop for buying his token 5 months early. The price today of the NFTs would be the same for both. So that's an interesting concept. All right, are we on the floor? Maybe we're on the floor, right? Let's here's Justin Bieber. He got a Bored Ape, 500 ETH, and today, so that was 1,300,000. Now it's worth 650,000. Steve Aoki, same thing. He's got a Doodle. He's down 862,000. Now it's 351,000. Logan Paul, right? He's got one that's worth $10 or something now. That went down to like $10. Yeah, that was it right here. The Bumblebee NFT was worth 8.2 ETH, about 10K, and now it's $10. I don't know what happened there with that NFT, but all right. Let's see. Neymar Jr. Bought a Basie for 186 ETH, was about a little over $500,000. Now it's about 247,000. All right, Basie, Neymar purchased a same day paying a total of 1.05 million. Marshmallow DJ CryptoPunk, right, 500K for 130 ETH, now 169 ETH. So got some Basie there. Madonna, she got a Basie. All right, she got a Basie for 466. Now we're 234. So Basie's all like 60% down, is what we're saying. Eminem, same thing. About $500,000 for his. Now 160,000. Tom Brady, also Basie. About 500K. Now 173K. So is it hype or hodl when celebrities purchase NFT? It often makes the news. The stories of excess hype, however, the reasons may vary. Whether it be an effort to contribute to real value to growing Web3 communities, or just to hop on the trend. I mean, it's probably both, right? It's probably just fun. Maybe having just fun with it, right? Who knows? Ask the celebrities themselves, I guess, their reasoning. Maybe they'll give you an honest answer. All right, this 10 stocks that will own the metaverse. So from Tim Frederick, writer for Yahoo Finance. This was a very interesting article. So an overview, meta platforms, right? I'm just going to call these out. Meta platforms right here, NASDAQ and Meta, NVIDIA Corporation, NEVDA, Alphabet, Google, and 3 companies. The smart money is betting big on that should one day own the metaverse, which has potential to be one of the most lucrative ventures in human history. There's no simple way to define what the metaverse is or what or will be, but a broad definition could describe it as a collection of virtual worlds in which people interact with each other and through avatars, at which the delivery mechanisms could be many to true metaverse experiences as seen which will use VR headsets, sensors, and haptic feeds to completely immerse their user in a 3D world. Now, I was saying a lot of metaverse things, they don't have legs, right? It's VR, legs, there's legs, but maybe we can get the integration of AR into the headsets with VR, and then we have AR VR headsets integration. That would kind of make sense to me for being able to look like that and see. That'd be a very interesting concept. So that's what I'm kind of putting those two together, seeing what innovation would look like there. Obviously, we're seeing some astounding prices being paid for virtual property in games like the Sandbox. That's on blockchain. On Solana, I believe it was on ETH. I know it's Solana. I thought there were more than $1 million spent on virtual land, so those owners could digitally live near Snoop Dogg. And more and more celebrities and influencers start heading to the metaverse, these scenarios will continue to magnify, with people spending huge sums to live near celebrities and making large sums if they can get celebrities to endorse their metaverse clothing or other creations. Yeah, living a block down from Snoop Dogg in the metaverse. So yeah, they got 10 stocks that will own the metaverse. Unity Software. Right, so I'm going to leave this article as just a recap of what stocks they're talking about. We got Unity Software here. Unity Software crashed on a new low of hedge fund ownership during Q2, following a 41% drop in the number of funds long the stock. And let's see, with gaming immersive graphical experience being core to metaverse experience, 3D platform like Unity Software will be key to building the backbone and eye candy that will shape our digital futures. Then we've got Sony Group Corporation. Japanese electronic Sony Group Corporation, one of the biggest players in the metaverse at this point, given the traction that its PlayStation-based VR headset has achieved, selling 4 million copies worldwide. And they recently partnered with English Premier League Manchester City to recreate the team's football stadium in the metaverse. That's what's up. So people are going to be watching football games on the metaverse probably. That's what I can see. That's why people use the metaverse with VR headsets. They're going to be at the physical place with the headset on, watching the game that maybe looks a lot crazier than real life. An IRL point of spectral view of our eyeballs. Roblox Corporation, obviously has been doing their metaverse thing. Right, you can talk about Roblox is actually down. Roblox is kind of creating in stock, but maybe an opportunity for other people to buy. Intel Corporation, NASDAQ, Intel, right? Intel's doing a lot of chip manufacturing, chip production, as well as blockchain accelerated research and hyper sawtooth ledger Intel chain. Hedge fund ownership of Intel Corporation has fallen 23% since peaking at the end of the first quarter of 2021, including one of its steepest drops in smart money ownership during Q2. Greenlight Capital and Rob Citrone's Conservative Capital Management are 2 prominent hedge funds that sold out during Intel during the quarter. Let's see, Qualcomm. Qualcomm, I've heard of Qualcomm before. That's interesting. What is Qualcomm? Incorporated venture capital firm also deployed $100 million into a metaverse fund to support the development of metaverse ecosystem, specifically those that use the company's XR platform. Those experiences won't just be gaming related, but instead encompasses everything from the health and wellness field to educate and entertainment. Let's see, Qualcomm Incorporated is also down about 23% from its peak and from the third quarter in 2020. Clearbridge Investments. No, let's skip that part. And we got NASDAQ. There's another article here. Continue reading and see the 5 stocks that will own the metaverse if you want to continue on with this. This is another piece of... so this is some stock parts of the weekend finance I find interesting. All right, so this next piece, how much the average American 60-year-old holds in retirement savings. This is from Finance and the weekend recap news from Amy Legat Wolf, writer for Yahoo Finance. I'm going to recap over this. A notation, So yeah, even Americans with the only modest retirement funds may be shocked to learn how many people are in desperate straits, as in they have no egg at all. Americans run an estimated 3.68 trillion behind in retirement savings, according to the Employee Benefit Research Institute. While this includes all people aged 35 to 64 in those in their 60s. Let's see. What's the average Vanguard saving fund? Around 55 people between 55 and 64 held an average of roughly $256,000, but this includes high-income earners. Breaking the figures down, it shrinks to a median of about 90,000. Interestingly, much has changed in even the short time since 2021. To source of figures for Vanguard's study last year, Vanguard noted that retirement savings actually increased thanks to stronger performance in the stock market. Let's see. Had to mute the mic and talk with family in one moment. Is there a magic retirement number? Yeah, usually they say 60, right? So if you're 60 an American and make 50,000 a year, that means you should have 400,000 saved in your retirement account. As you can see, neither the average nor the median retirement amount comes even close. How can you balance the numbers? There's some information on there, and yeah. Good morning. I'm actually, I just want to say good morning, jump up here. I'm actually been listening and I've been reading blockchain tech and finance news on stream right now. So I'm just reading the market rates, the Fed rates, the hikes, the Bitcoin, the NFT metaverse news, and listening with y'all on the on the interim out of one ear and talking out of the other. Yeah, man. How y'all? You doing well and safe? How's the weekend? How was your weekend? Awesome. Yeah, it's been an interesting weekend. Definitely, I'll say this. A lot of people are speculating Bitcoin. We're going to be dropping down before the end of the year to around 15K range. Some are calling it 10K range. So we're going to see what happens here. It's all tied to those Fed hikes and shit like that. But that's what I got to say. Just recapping some news over the weekend and listening to your space here to support your space, man. Yeah, it's on my Twitter. It's just a live stream feed on Twitter, but yeah, if any, I mean, it's not sustainable energy, but at least outside of like Web3 or something, obviously crude oil is kind of up and but being hedged against. So, three stocks that analysts have been talking about in crude oil is like Shell, Exxon, and Chevron. Exxon being the best, they're up 60% year to date from the recent market corrections. So there's definitely a lot going on that is tying all the way over directly over here to Web3 and NFTs and Bitcoin value that spills down to Ethereum value and to all the NFT values. So yeah, it's all tied together. Macroeconomics. All right, I was just I'm on Space, um, chilling as well. So friend, he's owns Board 8 actually himself. Not the collection. He doesn't own the project, but he owns a Board 8 or more or something. So he just checked in with me. I got you're in there. All right, so new news for the week. We're gonna go blockchain news right here. Right, this is from about 4 or 5 hours ago. 85-minute block interval left more than 13,000 transactions stuck as a pending state on Monday. By Oliver Knight, writer for CoinDesk. Bitcoin fails to produce one block for over an hour. It took more than an hour to mine a block of Bitcoin on Monday, leaving thousands of transactions stuck. Let's see. What's this? Did anyone hear Bitcoin was stuck around 5 a.m. this morning and couldn't process 13,000 transactions? A block was stuck for over an hour on the Bitcoin chain. That hasn't happened. Yeah. It was, last week Bitcoin underwent a difficulty adjustment to ensure block confirmations kept taking place every 10 minutes. Because of the difficulty surged to 35.6 trillion on the difficulty analytics, that became more expensive to mine Bitcoin. That's so basically because it was more expensive to mine the Bitcoin, no one mined it, and that caused the block to kind of fail. Unclear why the latest block confirmation was delayed. I think they're really researching into it because it happened about 5 or 6 hours ago now. So that's very interesting. There's gonna be more coming from that. Yeah, according to Mempool, 13,000 transactions pended, and the block was stuck for over an hour. It hasn't. I don't think that's happened for since the early days of Bitcoin. That's something cool and interesting. Bitcoin broke for an hour. According to on-chain from several block. Cheers, mate. Yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah, that's a big stipulation. There's been years of talk, even when it's fully mined out. Will there be a protocol to expand the total supply past 21 million on a fork or something? It's a huge thing. And when that's all mined out, what's the incentive to keep mining it? Will the block stop altogether and not even produce transactions because no one's mining it? Or it'll just be a collector's piece at that point. But yeah, nice to meet you too, Sam. Cheers. All right, again, because I'm reading on, people are talking on a space on Twitter as well. So I'm reading the news here. But yeah, this is going to be something to research into. I think we're going to be learning more about this moving forward in research. But yeah, Bitcoin fails to produce a block over for an hour earlier this morning. Took over an hour to mine a block of Bitcoin on Monday, leaving thousands of transactions stuck in an unconfirmed state. I've got some Bitcoin sending. Maybe it was processed in that block. I don't know. We'll see. You have to check the Bitcoin wallet. Sometimes I leave some transactions sending in different ways, but yeah, that's interesting. There'll be a lot of research on this probably moving forward if it's not found already. All right, this next piece of news, we're going to go on and Binance this is also some blockchain tech news, focused news on the Binance blockchain. Binance launches a 500 million lending project to support crypto miners from writer David Adderley. The loan will be provided to blue chip Bitcoin miners could back their bids with physical or digital assets. I gotta answer one message here. Sorry, what? Sorry, I had to answer a message on the stream part. So to answer a message, trying to read the news, right? But sometimes get a message in, if it's important enough, I will answer. So if you got a message you want to send, and I will answer, I'll stop. Read it if it's important to help you out like that. The loans will be provided to blue chip Bitcoin miners who could back their bids with physical or digital assets. Binance Pool, a mining subsidy of Binance, launched a $500 million lending project to support the crypto mining industry. It will provide loans to private blue chip Bitcoin crypto miners. According to the official blog post from October 14th, the Binance Pool will provide access to a $500 million loan fund on several conditions, which include 18 to 24-month term, 5 to 10% interest rates, and some physical or digital assets as a security. The company will look at a wide range of metrics, including current performance, mining power, and security quantity to define the borrower's credit worthiness. Binance Pool will also launch cloud mining products, directly purchasing the cloud mining hashing power from Bitcoin mining and digital infrastructure providers. Speaking to Cointelegraph, Binance spokesperson clarified the criteria for defining a potential borrower as a blue chip. One of the requirements is that the applicant must be classified as a Binance VIP user and connect at least 500 PHs to the Binance Pool for a minimum of 24 months after the loan is issued. The company did not, so this is like hash rates, right? The company did not specify the maximum amount of a single loan, referring to the specifics of each applicant's situation. Let's see. Binance continues the expansion strategy even in the bear market. In September, it registered with New Zealand's Ministry of Business and Innovation and Employment and opened local offices in the country. Right, so this is some offset news there, but yeah, the main point is Binance launches $500 million lending project to support crypto miners. Moving on, we got news from Bitcoin. Yeah. Let's keep going. Let's go. It's from CNBC. MasterCard will help offer banks cryptocurrency trading. So it's from writer Caney Rooney. Key points here is MasterCard is launching a program to let financial institutions offer cryptocurrency trading to its clients. The payments giant will act as a bridge between Paxos, a crypto trading platform already used by PayPal and banks. MasterCard's program will handle regulatory compliance and security. Two core reasons banks cite for avoiding the asset class, right? There's a lot of consumers out there that are really interested in this and intrigued by crypto, but would feel a lot more confident if those services were offered by their financial institutions, says Jorn Lambert, MasterCard's chief digital officer. MasterCard is looking to bring crypto to the masses by making it easier for banks to get involved. The payments giant plans to announce a program Monday that will help financial institutions offer cryptocurrency trading, the company told CNBC. MasterCard will act as a bridge between Paxos and crypto trading platform, again, already used by PayPal, and to offer a similar service in banks. According to the company, MasterCard and Paxos will handle regulatory compliance and security. Two core reasons banks cite for avoiding the asset class. Some consumers have been skeptical too. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are known for volatility, and the world's top digital assets have lost more than half their value this year. The industry has suffered billions of hacks since in January, coupled with multiple high-profile bankruptcies. And MasterCard's chief digital officer said polling still shows demand for the asset, but roughly 60% of respondents said they would rather test the waters through their existing banks. There's a lot of consumers out there that are really interested in this and intrigued by crypto, but would feel a lot more confident if those services were offered by financial institutions. MasterCard's chief digital officer, Jorn Lambert, told CNBC in an interview. It's a little scary to some people still. Large investment banks like Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and JP Morgan have dedicated crypto teams, but have largely avoided offering it to consumers. Just last week, JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon called cryptocurrencies decentralized Ponzi's in an Institute for International Finance event. If banks do embrace this MasterCard partnership model, it may mean more competition for Coinbase and other exchanges operating in the United States. The payments company said its role is to keep banks on the right side of the regulation by providing crypto compliance rules, verifying transactions, and providing anti-money laundering and identity monitoring services. MasterCard will pilot the product in the first quarter of next year, then crank the handle to expand in more geographies. Lambert declined to say which banks have signed up so far. While the industry is living through a bear market or crypto winter, Lambert said more activity down the road could lead to more transactions and fuel MasterCard's core business. I'll be short to think that it's a little bit of crypto winter heralds the end of it. We don't see that, he said. As regulation comes in, there is going to be a higher degree of security available to the crypto platforms, and we'll see a lot of current issues getting resolved in the years to come. So MasterCard and Visa have been a partnership in sprees in crypto, right? Cryptocurrencies, ironically, were meant to disrupt banks and middlemen like MasterCard and Visa. So here we go, MasterCard and Visa embracing them and grasping more control with them on an institutional protocol for a bridge of investing level. It's hard to believe that the crypto industry will truly go mainstream without embracing the financial industry as we know it, Lambert said. Let's go on. I got a few more pieces of news here. I'm going to close out the stream for the day. This next piece of news here is from Cointelegraph. Crypto Twitter split as another NFT platform moves to opt-in royalties. Despite the change to an optional royalties model, Magic Eden will still have full royalties set by default for all collections and listings. What does that have to do with crypto Twitter or Twitter? I mean, Solana-based Magic Eden has become the latest non-fungible token NFT marketplace to shift it to an optional royalties model, following in the footsteps of X2Y2 in August, albeit reluctantly. Under the optional royalties model, buyers are given the power to set the royalties they want to contribute to an NFT project, meaning there is a chance that some creators may not receive the royalties when their artworks are sold. In October 14 post, the NFT marketplace noted that the decision came after difficult reflection and discussions with many creators, and came as the market has been shifting toward optional creator royalties for a while. The NFT marketplace shared a graph showing that number of cumulative wallets using optional royalty marketplace to buy or sell NFTs skyrocketed in late September. However, the move has been met with split opinions from Twitter's NFT community, with some seeing the move as positive for the long-term health of the industry, while others have labeled skipping royalties as akin to theft. Well-known NFT artists like Beeple Winkleman pointed out hit 700,000 followers on October 15th. While he doesn't love that Magic Eden and others are doing, the switch from seller's fee to a buyer's premium could be better for the industry long term. I'm obviously pro royalties and don't love what Magic Eden and others are doing. I do think there is one key change that they hit on, switching from a seller fee to a buyer's premium. I think this is actually much more sustainable long term. Another Twitter user named Captain Fuego behind Fuego Labs told their nearly 10,000 followers that royalties were stupid and shouldn't exist. Glad to see platforms taking this approach. Others were more critical of the change. Broccoli DAO argued that royalties are needed in an immature ecosystem, noting that their first calculations they've already lost as much as 27,000 royalties due to their purchases on their marketplace. So yeah, in future, we will be blocking anyone who hasn't paid royalties from accessing our Discord channels. Not paying royalties is theft. We will treat it as such, they said. Decozy, the caller, a self-proclaimed analyst, made a grim prediction to their 108,000 followers, stating, I can see a scenario in which Magic Eden goes to zero and loses their market share to the marketplace, enforcing royalties in an innovative way. Honestly, unreal. I don't know who is advising Magic Eden, but imagine fumbling $1 billion company, man. I can see a scenario in which Magic Eden goes to zero and loses their market share to a marketplace enforcing royalties in an innovative way. Such a fumble, man. Unreal. So that's person's intake there. Input there. Magic Eden said that the change was not taken lightly, and let's see. I've been trying to avoid the outcome and spend the last several weeks exploring the different alternatives. Last month, the NFT marketplace attempted to bring forth a royalty enforcement tool called MetaShield. It aimed at deterring NFT buyers trying to skirt creator royalties. I think my daughter's upset in the background. I'm not sure what it is, but let's see. Last month, so my wife is calming her down. Last month, the NFT marketplace attempted to bring forth a royalty enforcement tool called MetaShield, aimed at deterring NFT buyers trying to skirt creator royalties by giving creators a tool that could flag and blur NFTs that sold bypassing royalties. Magic Eden noted in its latest post that unfortunately royalties are not enforceable on a protocol level, so that we have had to adopt to shifting market dynamics. In August, NFT marketplace X2Y2 announced that they were introducing a similar option that allows buyers to set the royalty fee when buying an NFT. The move doesn't appear to have affected the platform's usage. According to the data on NFT Go, in the last 3 months, X2Y2's trading volume is ranked first, surpassing OpenSea. Cointelegraph has reached out to Magic Eden for further comment, but has not received an immediate response at the time of publication. So I will be following most definitely these sort of things, crypto Twitter, so about the NFT platforms and the royalty fees being adjusted here, especially on OpenSea. We'll see, because I don't see OpenSea really saying much of that. So I think they're just kind of why change anything, because what we have right now is working. Even though it's lots of user case all around in the industry, it's not. It's just the macroeconomic level, right? It's not anything on the marketplaces directly or the royalty fees, I feel. That's my personal take. Definitely love the input, so put your comments in there. This next piece of news is forward over from Reuters, and exclusive short video company Triller launches metaverse platform. This is from writer for Yahoo News. Reuters. This is source from Reuters. This is from short-term video platform Triller Inc. is the latest company to stake its claim in the metaverse with the launch Monday of a new platform called Metaverse. Triller said its metaverse provides virtual spaces where users can gather to watch live music and sporting events such as bare knuckle fighting championship. Fighting Championship or the Triller Fight Club and interact with artists and other fans. Its first event takes place on October 22nd with DJ Sam Feld performing an electronic set from the Netherlands, then dropping into Metaverse's virtual nightclub as an avatar to mingle with guests. The virtual performance is one of 2,000 events Triller and its subsidiaries plan to go host in the next year, the majority of which will happen in the real world and Metaverse. We're carefully curating all our events experiences so people understand what they're doing. Probably so people can like aimlessly, be between the real world and the virtual Metaverse event. You get to engage around the event. Triller's Metaverse will compete with deeper resource rivals like Meta Platforms Inc., which has spent billions of dollars to create an immersive digital environment where people could socialize, play games, and work, which we obviously still haven't seen yet. Its flagship game, Horizon Worlds, has struggled to gain a firm footing, attracting just 200,000 users. I mean, I didn't even know anything about this thing, Horizon World, but okay, until now. Let's see. According to documents obtained by the Wall Street Journal, in a preview, Triller showed off virtual environments the company spent the last 2+ years building, including a sports arena, beach houses surrounding rippling water and palm trees, and a nightclub with projecting screens, laser lights, and marbled floors. Clusters of seating areas provide places for users to talk with one another, either as avatars or via live stream video that appears in a dialogue box on the screen. I mean, what's interesting to me is, they spent a couple of years building a sports arena. So if people are at a real sports arena, but also there's a digital rebuild out of the same sports arena, and everyone's in that sports arena with a VR headset on, looking at a virtual sports arena with like added aspects of it, and then they can like take that off and be back in the real world and stuff. That to me is where I can see Metaverse being used in a real world scenario in real physical locations, arenas, stadiums, concert halls, all of that, with metaverse integration. The company, and also for the same people who actually don't want to be at the physical place, can be in their home as well through VR with added experiences. The company is working with Epic to create games within Metaverse. Players can earn digital currency dubbed Iller Bucks that can be used to buy virtual apparel, customize their avatars, or purchase tickets to events hosted by Triller or its creators. So there's a utility there. That's pretty cool. Triller Video sharing app launched in its current form in December 2019. It has looked to take on larger rival TikTok. The company added fresh content and features to the platform with acquisitions of live streaming music platform Verzuz, founded by Grammy Award-winning producers Swiss Beats and Timbaland. Combat sports brands Bare Knuckle Fighting and Fight TV, and Fangame Julius and Amplify.ai, whose technologies help creators connect with and monetize their fan base. Triller recently raised $310 million from Global Emerging Markets, a Luxembourg-based private investment group, in anticipation of going public as soon as next month. Triller CEO Mahi Da Silva said the company is losing money but expects to cross into profitability by 2023. It's a real run afoul of one of the world's largest music companies, Sony Music Entertainment, which filed a lawsuit against Triller in August in federal district court in New York, seeking millions of dollars in damages after the video sharing app alleged stopped paying licensing fees in March 2022. De Silva described the lawsuit as a tactic in license negotiations. The Post also reported this summer that black influencers who had been recruited to the platform a year ago with promises of $4,000 per month say those platforms have been erratic and in some cases non-existent. Those payments. We did have a few hiccups in the beginning of the year, De Silva said, but we are 100% up to date. So, I mean, that's they're building a metaverse, so we'll have to see how that evolves, right? Seems like a company's got a lot of different things under their umbrella that they're trying to do, and metaverse is one of them with Triller. Right. So this next piece of news, do your own research on that, most definitely. It looks like they're trying to go public also or something. Anyways, this is from Yahoo Finance News as well. So we're in the finance sector. There's nothing much for tech news. I didn't specifically see much top innovative technology news to know of. I mean, there's still a lot going on always in technology and science and technology. But just nothing really that stood out completely right now to research from. All right, so this is from, so I'm pretty much closing this up for the day. Yahoo Finance from writer Sam Rowe. There's good news hidden in the current market turmoil. Stocks ended another volatile week lower, with the S&P 500 declining 1.6%. The index set a closing low of $3,577.03 on Wednesday, and an intraday low of 3,491.58 on Thursday, from its January 3 closing high of 4,796.56, and the S&P is now down 25.2%. It's incredibly difficult to predict where the stock market is headed in the short run. And just because the recent performance has been poor doesn't necessarily mean we're due for a quick outsized rally. It doesn't necessarily mean that prices should tank further either. There's a little relationship between trailing returns and future returns. Craig Lazara, managing director at S&P Dow Jones Indices, wrote on Wednesday. Lazara compiled and charted the historical data to argue his point. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. I'm still going. I want to check if there's any chats there, but if you want to jump your chats in there, go for it. These data comprise every 9-month period since 1971, not just the January-September intervals. The exact correlation between the last 9 months returns and the next 9 months returns, it's 0.006. He wrote, statisticians, I've never seen this word, statistician. Cool. Statistics. Best guess of the next 9 months returns would simply reflect the median return of the series, and ignoring whatever the last 9 months returns had actually been. So they got Exhibit 1 here. Again, I have all these articles in the recap on the YouTube side. He added that there is good news hidden in that reality. The market has no memory. The best guess of future returns does not depend on the immediate past. It's important to note that this doesn't imply that it's a coin toss whether stocks go up or down at any given point in time, lest we forget the stock market usually goes up. Lazara broke up the data set to show the median returns over the next 9 months by deciles based on trailing returns. As you can see, the median future returns are all significantly positive, ranging from 7.6 to 11.1% across the deciles. In Exhibit 2, futures return by decile over the 9 months period of the last 50 years. The median return was 9.5%, Lazara said. When historical returns were in the bottom decile, the median return in the next 9 months was 10.8%, a non-inconsiderable improvement over the global median. Now, it is at the point I have reminded you that you shouldn't expect average outcomes in the short run. Also, just because stocks usually go up doesn't mean stocks always go up. However, these averages have historically materialized for long-term investors with the patience and stomach to ride the frequent ups and less frequent downs of the market. All right, so they got some more inflation remains the problem, September was up. The consumer price index was up 8.2% from a year ago. Adjusted for food and energy prices, core CPI was 6.6%, in the highest price since August 1982. Both measures were hotter than economists' expectations. Over a month basis, CPI was up 0.4% and core CPI was up 0.6%. Again, both measures were hotter than expected. The goods and inflation cools, services inflation heats up. Wells Fargo separated goods inflation and services inflation. The former has been cooling as the latter has been heating up, perhaps a reflection on the ongoing trend of consumer spending more money doing stuff and less money buying stuff. So yeah, like we're going to go to maybe go play some bowling for a night rather than go buy like a freaking boat to go on a lake during the summer. Things like that kind of deal. Here's a more detailed look at what, or a bowling ball to go bowling rather than just go bowling and rent a pair of shoes and a bowling ball kind of thing is what I think. Energy and vehicle prices have been on decline, but shelter prices have been hot, according to the CPI report. Shelter prices inflation. High home prices and rents were reflected in hot shelter prices, which was up 6.6% year over year and 0.7% month over month. This chart from Bloomberg's Michael McDonough shows how shelter prices have become a bigger driver on the hot CPI points. However, a number of economists were quick to caution that the way shelter prices are measured in the CPI report suggests that the input may reflect lagged data from Pantheon macroeconomics. Macroeconomics. Ian Shepperson, worrying about exploiting rent inflation doesn't have much more to run. The chart shows second differences of the Zillow rent index and the CPI version lags 6 months. So you got some charts there about rent and things like that. According to CoStar data, rents in September fell in 75% of markets tracked by apartments.com. SGH's macros Tim Bai on CPI. This data is lagging asking rents indices by about 4 quarters, which means that the recent decline in asking rents might not be reflected in lower shelter inflation until the second half of the year. The Fed is aware of this lag, and the questions posed in the market is when they moderate the pace of rate hikes to account for it. Is when will they moderate the pace of rate hikes to account for it? The problem for the Fed is not shelter or used cars or new cars or any one-off component that is used to explain any one report. The problem is that underlying persistent inflation has risen, and dependent on the measure might be anywhere from 6 to 8%. So the prices for imported goods fall. Prices on imports fell 1.2% month over month in September as the third straight month of declines, negative 1.1% in August and negative 1.4% in July. Much of this can be explained by lower commodity prices than the ascent of the US dollar, right? US dollar is going up. Freight costs are down. Global freight prices are down around 70% since their lofty peaks this time last year. So says the Dutch Bank. Inflation expectations heat up a little. From the University of Michigan survey of consumers, the median expectation year ahead inflation rate rose 5.1% with increases reported across range, income, and education last month. Long-run inflation expectations fell below a narrow 2.9% and 3.1% range for the first time since July 2021. But since then, expectations have returned to that range at 2.9% after 3 months of expecting minimal increases in gas prices in the year ahead. Both short and longer run expectations rebounded in October. The New York Fed survey consumer expectations was a bit mixed. Median 1 year ahead inflation expectations continued to decline in September, falling by 0.3 percentage point to 5.4%, its lowest reading since September 2021. In contrast, 3 year ahead inflation expectations rose slightly to 2.9% from 2.8% in August. So here's some charting on the inflation expectations. Obviously, this is where I was looking at the mortgage rates jump from Freddie Mac. Rates resumed their record-setting climb this week, with 30-year fixed-rate mortgage reaching its highest level since April of 2002. We continue to see a tale of two economies in the data. Strong job and wage growth are keeping consumers' balance sheets positive, while lingering inflation, recession fears, and housing affordability are driving housing demand low precipitously. What is that word? Precipitously. Why do you have to... whatever. Anyways. It's just driving the housing demand down continuously. How about that? Put a tongue twister in there for everyone to say. The next several months will undoubtedly be important for the economy and the housing market. Also, he's got Social Security benefits to jump in 2023, right? That's been a thing I've been covering in past articles. Benefits for SSI for approximately 70 million Americans will increase 8.7% in 2023. The Social Security Administration announced today, on average, Social Security benefits will increase by more than $140 per month starting in January. Okay, there's that aspect too. JP Morgan economists noted Social Security benefits currently account for only about 7% of disposable income. So the COLA will be one of many factors that impact the outlook for income. It could be more now, but I keep hearing people saying that by the time I'm in retirement, there will be no SSI left to even to have. So we got to start saving now, basically. Initial claims for unemployment benefits rose to 228,000 during the week ending October 8th, up from 219,000 the week prior, while the number is up from 6-decade low of 166,000 in March. It remains near levels seen during periods of economic expansion. So retail sales are holding up, it seems here. Spending among teens is cooling. Teenage bracket spending, it seems entrepreneurial spirit is alive in this charting here. And putting it all together, while there are many signs that prices in the economy are easing, aggregate measures of inflation remain very high. The macroeconomical level of Fed rate hikes and hyperinflation is definitely still being said to be high. The good news is that there's still a strong case to be made that any downturn won't turn into economic calamity. This is corroborated by the fact that there's been no collapse in consumer spending, which has been supported by the resilient labor market and rising income. Again, it's not that we're not spending. It's just that what are we spending on? Again, I'm not buying a bowling ball to go because I'm not bowling as much, right? For example, I'm just giving an example. So for me, rather than spending the money on a bowling ball to own the bowling ball, we're just going bowling for a night here or there once a month, right? Renting the shoes, renting the bowling ball, and go bowling that way, rather than spending on owning the products that we need to go do the activities. We just go do the activities because the service is already there. And that's kind of, I think, macroeconomical levels. Things are shifting in how we're spending, and we're spending on experience rather than product, things like that. So yeah, I mean, it's basically leading that the economy can take dips, but we can bounce back on the dips, and rather than complete sheer collapses, which we kind of have seen in the past. But we're still in an economical, seem to be a hyperinflationary period, and that there'll be recession looming, most definitely. This last piece of news is going to let me read it. Sometimes BBC cuts me off here. It's from Biotech. Says I'm going to lead out with just a piece of global news. It is actually in the health and tech sector, so we'll leave it at that. But BioNTech could COVID vaccine technology crack cancer. So I don't know. I just saw this and I was like, well, what's this noting of? They got something to say here. This is from Fergus Walsh, medical editor for BBC News. They are the husband and wife team be successful COVID vaccines. Yet the UK, in the UK, they are barely known. Professor Ugur Sahin and Özlem Teresi co-founded the German company BioNTech in 2008, exploring new technology involving messenger RNA, mRNA, to treat cancer. When the pandemic struck, they partnered with Pfizer to become to use the same approach to create a COVID vaccine. Now the doctors are hopeful it could lead to new treatments for melanoma, bowel cancer, and other tumor types. BioNTech has several trials in progress, including one where patients are given a personalized vaccine to prompt their immune system to attack their disease. The mRNA technology being used works by sending an instruction or a blueprint to cells to produce an antigen or protein. So my guess is that they're working on cancer patients who are have cancer so far advanced. They're open to having these type of treatments to see if it will do anything. In COVID, this antigen is part of the spike protein of the virus. In cancer, it would be a marker on the surface of tumor cells. This teaches the immune system to recognize and target affected cells for destruction. Speaking on BBC's Sunday with Laura Kuenssberg, Professor Tereki said, mRNA acts as a blueprint and allows you to tell the body to produce the drug or the vaccine. And when you use mRNA as a vaccine, the mRNA is a blueprint for the wasted poster of the enemy, in this case cancer cells, antigens which distinguish cancer cells from normal cells. Harnessing the power of mRNA to produce vaccines was unproven until COVID, but the success of mRNA vaccines in the pandemic has encouraged scientists working with the technology in cancer. BioNTech's mRNA cancer trials started long before the pandemic and have shown some early encouraging signals. Every step, every patient we treat in our cancer trials help us to find out about what we are against and how to address that, Professor Tereki, BioNTech's chief medical officer, said. As scientists, we are always hesitant to say we will have a cure for cancer. We have a number of breakthroughs and we will continue to work on them. Caution is needed. Many promising cancer trials end in failure. It may be several years before we know if BioNTech's treatments for bowel cancer, melanoma, and other tumor types really do live up to date. In the legal fight, there's no doubt that the COVID mRNA vaccines have been highly successful and made billions for biotech and Pfizer and Moderna, but a huge legal tussle is underway surrounding the innovation behind mRNA vaccines. U.S. firm Moderna has started legal action against Pfizer and BioNTech for patent infringement, in essence claiming the key elements of their mRNA technology were copied. Professor Sahin, BioNTech's chief executive officer, says the company will rigorously defend against these allegations. Our innovations were our original, he said. We have spent 20 years of research in developing these type of treatments, and of course we will fight for our intellectual property. These patent disputes will not stop the rollout of COVID vaccines, all booster jabs used by NHS and mRNA vaccines. It is a technology that came of age in the pandemic. The question is now, can it take on cancer? In this week's show, Chancellor Hadush, let me see. Is this? There's some little out notes on here. But again, I'll have all these articles in the recap on the YouTube side. And that's the last piece of news I had for the day. So I'm going to close it out with that. BioNTech could COVID vaccine technology crack cancer. So maybe we'll be seeing some more news about that moving forward. and that aspect. Let's see. I'm not sure. I don't know. I do have a piece of news here. It's kind of a bit on the conflict side. The Ukraine war, Kyiv attacked by kamikaze drones. Something like about an hour ago, right? It's from Paul Adams in Kyiv and Merlin Thompson in London from the BBC News on Global News. So I usually leave out with a piece of global news. Started doing this. So Russia has hit Ukraine with a wave of attacks, dive bombing the capital Kyiv in what appears to be Iranian-made kamikaze drones. Airstrikes hit critical infrastructure in 3 regions, cutting off electricity in hundreds of villages across the country, according to Prime Minister Denis. At least 8 people were killed, 4 in Sumy and 4 in Kyiv. Calls have mounted for sanctions on Iran, which denies supplying drones. A week ago, the Ukrainian capital was hit by Russian missiles at rush hour, part of nationwide attacks, which left 19 dead. These people said new strikes that had hit regions of Kyiv, Dnipro, and Sumy. 4 people were killed, and then when an energy generating facility was hit in Sumy, according to Ukraine's Deputy Interior Minister Yevhen Yenin, Russia is hunting for all energy-related facilities. He warned they want to cause chaos in the energy industry. It shows their desperation. One person said the head of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's staff in the port of city of Mykolaiv. Sunflower oil tanks were set on fire by the suicide drones, said the city's mayor. Mr. Senkovich said 3 drones had ignited the tanks ignited the tanks late on Sunday evening, hours before the attack on Kyiv. So this literally has basically just happened recently. Ukrainian in the past hours. A Ukrainian Air Force official said since last night, 37 drones have been destroyed, which had all flown into the country from the south. The low buzzing of the slow-moving drones is becoming familiar across the country. The city reverberated to the rattle of gunfire as anti-aircraft batteries frantically tried to shoot them down. Video on social media appeared to show one interception. So obviously there's people here with their Twitters. Right. So view the original tweet on Twitter. The explosions on Monday began at about 6:30 local time, GMT. Most recent was about 8:10 local time over there. 2 were close to the city center with sirens and car alarms heard across the area. The enemy can attack our cities, but it won't be able to break us, said President Zelensky, describing the attacks as terrorizing the civilian population. I mean, basically, it's what it's coming down to. It's terrorizing people with technology, drones. Kyiv, there's no real people. It's just, oh man, it's just I'm just gonna keep reading. Kyiv's mayor Vitaly, I'm not sure, described the attacks as a genocide of the Ukrainian people. Yeah, that's the important part, right? The Russians need a Ukraine without Ukrainians. Said that the city authorities were expecting soon arrival of air defense systems to protect the capital from drone attacks. Obviously, the U.S. also has put in billions or something like that into something like 30 billion. I'm not sure. Billions of dollars. I'd have to read the number again. Into lethal anti-aircraft defense. One Reuters news agency journalist reported seeing fragments of a drone used in the attack that bore the words for Belgorod. The Russian border city of Belgorod has been hit several times since Russia invaded Ukraine. Moscow blames Kyiv for the attacks. 2 gunmen who had volunteered to fight in Ukraine killed 11 people on Saturday at a Russian military training camp on the Belgorod region. Writing on a Telegram social media site, whoever said there were 4 strikes in Kyiv. Although residents heard 5 or 6 explosions, he told people to stay in air raid shelters. So I'm going to say this. Yeah, there's probably a lot more going on there. Russia said it had hit Ukrainian military command facilities and energy systems in the course of 24 hours with long-range air and sea-based weapons on Sunday. What are kamikaze drones? Believed to include an Iranian-supplied weapon called Shahed 136. These drones loiter above a target before attacking, packed with explosives which detonate upon impact, destroying the drone, often set in waves and difficult to spot on radar. The U.S. said Iran planned to send hundreds to Russia, costing just $20,000 each. Ukraine has also used kamikaze drones, including the U.S.-made Switchblade model. Russian President Vladimir Putin said last week's strikes were in retaliation for the bombing of key bridge linking Russia to occupied Crimea, which he blamed on Ukraine. It was the first time since during the war that the center of Kyiv has been directly targeted. Earlier this week, Mr. Putin said there was no need for more large-scale strikes on Ukraine. Most designated targets have been hit, he said, adding that it was not his aim to destroy the country. Yeah, he wants to take out all their power strikes and all their energy and infrastructures like that to then make further moves, apparently. And what those moves and intents are, we don't know yet. So, he says he's done with heavy strikes, but what's he going to do next or something, We'll have to see. Ukraine, it's a mess. Ukraine war, attacked by kamikaze drones. So that's all I have for the news today. Again, I'm leaving out with that piece of global news there. And let's see. If you're on the YouTube side, please do subscribe, turn on the bell notifications here to blockchain, tech, and finance news at best every day during the weekday times, EDT time, right here on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, live weekdays during the 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. EDT hours. At best, be starting this stream at 8 a.m. every day on the weekdays, and here on Mondays doing the weekend recaps of noteworthy news from the weekend. So it's a bit of a longer stream on Mondays. Again, I was running a little late running this today. That's why I say during the hours of 8 a.m. and the 9 a.m. EDT hours, because I was on a podcast space, networking and communication and business entrepreneurship there. So from here, I'll be ending this stream. I also have spaces on Twitter for art sharing. And if you're into NFT art, check out my Kins art on OpenSea and Foundation. Follow me on TikTok, KinToshi. Follow me on Instagram, KinToshi, and follow me on Twitch, KinToshi for extra content creation and gaming content and live streams. Otherwise, have a great, safe day wherever in the world you are. God bless your kind hearts, creed, spirituality, beliefs. Either way, stay safe. Peace be with you. Onamashigas. Ciao. Take care. Stay safe.